got a duck friend. Did a deal with a nigga that look like Peter Griffin, got a butt. I heard them niggas about to come and spin your block, you better bust then. Oh, you ain't got it on, you better duck then. You think 100,000 hard to get, you must ain't touched him. Oh, you ain't run around here.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Savvy, and I'm back with another reaction video. And today we got how these 5 NBA teams dodged a massive bullet. But before we get into the video, hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video at the end, of course. But if you want more videos, come and hit the subscribe button. But I think this like NBA teams that might have overpaid players, you feel me, or like might have gave them some shit and they ain't perform right. You know, gave them way more than they fucking deserve. Which we know a couple players, that happened to. And it's a couple NBA players still getting paid to this day and they ain't been playing for I don't know how long. Them niggas been retired and they still getting paid to this day. A finesse. But I don't keep talking. We're gonna get right into the video. Let's go.
A few years ago, I made a video about NBA players who made a mistake and missed out on a huge payday and ended up getting way less money than they thought they would get.
That's tough. That's tough. You need some help in there, brother.
It was the player's fault, others the agent's fault, or it was simply out of their control. Now, in this video, let's take a look at some teams who dodged a massive bullet. How's it going, folks? My name's Andy, and without further ado, let's get started. The Charlotte Hornets. In the summer of 2019, Kemba Walker was a restricted free agent, and the Hornets were ready to re-sign him to a lucrative long-term deal. He was eligible for a 5-year, $221 million max, but instead, the Hornets offered him a smaller 5-year, $160 million deal. That's still a massive amount of money, and even though it was well below his max, most people felt like it was more than what he was worth anyway.
Yeah.
I certainly felt that way. But Walker was unsatisfied with this deal, so instead...
Unsatisfied with this, so... You unsatisfied with the deal. What have you done for the past at least 5 years? You don't think they unsatisfied with your play, my G? Like, they getting paid millions and they be complaining for real. Like, he had a problem with 160 million? Bro.
He signed for 4 years, $141 million with the Celtics. Thankfully for the Hornets, this was a blessing in disguise. Walker's game fell off drastically within a few
Drastically.
years, and by the 3rd season of his contract, he got traded to the Knicks, where he had the worst score.
Oh, come on. Did Kemba still play for... I forgot he played for... Did Kemba still play for the Knicks? Damn. It's like once he got traded from the Hornets, he was just getting bounced everywhere. Know your worth. Yeah. Know your worth, y'all. Know your worth.
Scoring season of his career.
Don't overdo it.
Everyone clowned the Hornets for signing Terry Rozier in the same summer they lost Kemba. There were so many jokes that the Hornets made a massive mistake and overpaid for an overrated bench player. But Rozier proved all the doubters wrong, and nowadays he's a better player than Kemba.
Fractures.
Not just that, but if the Hornets kept Walker, they'd be stuck in the same spot they've been for his entire career.
Nowhere.
Barely a playoff team, but
nowhere.
Not bad enough to tank. That means they would have never gotten LaMelo Ball, and their current rebuilding success story would have never happened. It's the domino effect. If Kemba accepted the Hornets' offer back in 2019, they would have been in a much worse situation now. It's safe to say they dodged a massive bullet when Walker rejected that offer.
They dodged the bullet. I guess you can say he dodged the bullet, but I guess you can say he didn't, but he did. I don't know. He's still getting paid either way, bro. He got traded, he getting paid. Millions. Hundreds of millions of dollars.
So, I know DeAndre Jordan eventually did sign with the Mavs, but remember that time back in 2015 when he committed to sign with Dallas, but then backed out at the last moment? That was the offseason where we got flooded with memes like this. Chris Broussard
Cuban is driving around Dallas, downtown Dallas,
Jordan's
family's forever.
And there was also that time when Blake Griffin was at Jordan's house and put a chair against his door to not let anyone else get a chance to talk to him. Here's the context. 5 days before this happened, Jordan verbally agreed to sign a 4-year, $80 million contract to join the Mavs. Very rarely do we see a player back out of a verbal agreement, so this deal was basically set in stone, until everyone on the Clippers kept trying to convince him to stay. Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, Doc Rivers, all his friends, and all his teammates told him to rethink his decision.
But they want you to stay, like...
And ultimately, Jordan backed out of his commitment and decided to stay in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Now, around this time, the Mavs were looking to put together a few more pieces to salvage the remaining years of Dirk's career. And that's why they offered DJ this contract. They attempted to make some last-ditch efforts to build around Dirk, to no avail. However, on the...
I'm about to say build around Dirk. How did that work? Towards the end, at least. Fuck.
Bright side, Jordan backing out of this deal meant that the Mavs could enter their rebuilding phase sooner, which they did. Without Jordan, they were not a playoff team. Well, they were barely even one to begin with. It was the perfect scenario, the perfect timing for the Mavs to be bad. And so, in the 2018 offseason, they caught lightning in a bottle, crafting a draft day trade that saw them land their superstar,
Luka
Doncic. In hindsight, Jordan going back on his verbal agreement was exactly what the Mavs needed. They spent far too
exactly
long
what they
trying to put
needed. A
temporary
verbal
band-aid
agreement,
on
not
an
even on
inevitable
contract.
rebuild.
So
instead of DeAndre Jordan
Go
at center, they had Zaza Pachulia instead, as they fell to one of the
Zaza Pachulia.
worst defensive teams in the league, and dropped out of the playoff race in the following years. If they had DJ in his prime, there's no way they would have dropped that low in the standings to get a chance at Luka. I guess the Mavs have a track record for dodging bullets. Remember that time they also tried to sign Nerlens Noel for $70 million, but his agent was stupid enough to reject it.
Stupid.
Phew, that would have turned out bad too. The Los Angeles Lakers.
We know this one. Oh, I know this one because I'm a LeBron fan. Listen, if y'all ain't know, I'm a LeBron fan. I ain't a Lakers fan. I ain't a Cavs fan. I'm a LeBron fan, bro. Don't leave it at that. But this nigga, talk about big ego.
Prior to the start of the 2021-22 season, you remember this, right? The Lakers reportedly offered Dennis Schroeder a contract worth $84 million over 4 seasons.
84.
The thing is, Dennis had a decent season, but everyone knew he was worth nowhere near this much.
Had an average
The Lakers
season,
thought they
decent.
shot themselves in the
He
foot.
doing what he's
Or
supposed to be
they?
doing. He
Turns
on an
out
NBA
Dennis
floor.
is freaking crazy and thought he was worth more than even this. So he rejected this contract because he believed he could get more in free agency, which he did not. The most any other team was willing to muster up was a measly 1-year $6
How that feel? Kids, don't be like Dennis Schroeder. Don't. This is now. This nigga is the little definition of bag fumbling. Fumbled the bag.
$6 million deal with the Boston Celtics. And if you saw him on the Celtics, you would think he was worth less than that. The dude was horrendous in Boston. He bogged down the offense, he would constantly over-dribble, and right when the Celtics traded him, the team went on a massive run, winning 20 of their next 26 games, and moved from being outside of the playoffs to the second seed of the East.
That's
This
crucial.
correlated with trading him away. Now, Dennis, he would occasionally have a good game, but most of the time, he
Occasionally.
was a liability.
That don't count. Sometimes that don't
It's clear
count.
from the on-off numbers, the Celtics had a staggering plus 10.4 net rating when he was off the court, and just plus 1.6 when he was on the court. That's how bad it was.
Woo!
Now, imagine if Dennis accepted
Dennis,
this deal to play
Jesus,
for the
fuck
Lakers
you
for
doing?
4 seasons. I know everyone is hypercritical of Russell Westbrook, and it's weird to say this, but even Russ is still way better than Dennis.
Oh, without question. Bro, if you sitting here and saying Dennis Schroeder better than Russell Westbrook, stop talking. just cut it out, bro.
Like, he makes Russ look like he's still an MVP caliber player. He would have gotten booed so hard he would have forced a trade out of LA. the emotional pressure would have been too much for him to handle. On the bright side, Dennis recognized his mistake in not signing this deal. While it was a blessing for the Lakers, he really missed out, and he'll never get another major contract again.
I'm going to do this one more time. Insert your fumbled the bag joke here. It's my birthday, so let's get this over with and get back to business. You fumbled the bag. Wait, he really posted that? Bro, you fumbled the bag, bro. Like, it's no, like, of course you got money, bro. You an NBA player, bro. You fumbled that bag, my nigga. Yeah, you know you did.
Heck, he even joked about it on Instagram, that he pretty much fumbled the bag. So at least he's a good sport about it. The Phoenix Suns. In late 2017, the Phoenix Suns re-signed T.J. Warren to 4 years, $50 million.
Well, I remember
it was
T.J.
the right choice at the time.
At the time.
Warren was quickly blossoming into the team's second option, behind Devin Booker, and the young duo was expected to lead this franchise into the future. Unfortunately, 2 seasons into that deal, and Warren got traded to the Indiana Pacers for cash. Not long after, Warren's injuries started to pile up, culminating in a bone fracture in his foot. Initially, the Suns giving him away for basically nothing but cash was seen as a horrific move. Warren was averaging nearly 20 points a game and made a stark improvement in his shooting over his previous seasons. But because he suffered that terrible injury, it forced him to miss nearly 2 entire seasons.
Jeez.
Super unlucky for TJ. But for the Suns, they got quite fortunate. Unloading his contract also freed up space to acquire Chris Paul, who spearheaded the Suns' resurgence back into a contender. I do feel bad for his injuries, but you gotta admit, the Suns traded TJ away at exactly the right time. The Indiana Pacers. In 2020, Victor Oladipo's place on the team was up in the air.
Oladipo.
He had a few seasons of playing like an all-star, but the injuries have hampered his progress, and the Pacers focused on a new young core to develop. Despite this, they still made him a staggering 4-year, $110 million offer that summer. In the year prior, he ruptured his quad tendon in his right knee, an injury that few have recovered from, especially those who heavily rely on their athleticism like Oladipo. The Pacers still took a chance on him by offering this, but in an even bigger surprise, Oladipo turned it down.
So you telling me you sitting there injured, fucked up, can't even play? They offer you a contract and you turn it down. They offer you millions of dollars. I'm trying to think. Hold on. I can't get it. I don't get it.
After coming off 2 injury-riddled seasons and rejecting this enormous amount of money, that's crazy.
You just injured for 2 seasons. Who you think you is? MJ?
Even crazier, when he got traded to the Rockets, they offered him a 4-year, $45 million deal, which he also rejected. And
smoking crack.
Eventually, he accepted a 1-year minimum to play in Miami. Not only did Oladipo lose the bag, but the Pacers should thank him. When he recovered from that knee surgery, he looked nowhere close to his former self. So they got lucky he rejected their offer, which was insane to begin with. Since the Pacers entered rebuilding mode recently, it would be much more difficult to add players if Oladipo was still on the roster. Plus, if he was still there and wanted a prominent role in the offense, they'd be limited in who they can acquire.
I'm about to say they had to
Duarte would not have the
really
opportunity
pick specific players,
and they would have never made the trade for Halliburton and Buddy Hield, both of whom are great additions to the team. Halliburton looking like their franchise piece of the future. The Pacers can now focus on rebuilding without the burden of Oladipo. Though I will say, it was a great feel-good move to try and keep him, just because Indiana was where he blossomed into a true star.
It's crazy.
To see him rise up so quickly and fall off just as fast, it's a heartbreaking story. To give him credit, Oladipo wanted to play for a contender in Miami, which is why he accepted a much smaller contract. So, I can't blame him.
Right, you can't blame him. He wanted to win the chip. He needed that chip, bro. Like, you can't even blame him, bro. He wanted the chip over the. Hey.
Anyway, that's all, folks. Those were some.
Definition of fumbled the bag. That nigga Dennis Schroeder. Done for. But anyway, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you want more videos, hit the subscribe button. Because I'm dropping more videos. And I'll be dropping some more 2K23 videos. Info coming up. Because we're supposed to be getting news this week. Because it come out next Friday. We getting loaded, so. If you got any comments, comment down below. It's your boy Savvy. I'm out. Peace.